Even r/Elon Musk has turned against him. I don't know if this subreddit is like making fun of him the way the Dave Rubin sub does. Oh no, this subreddit actually jerks him off. The top comment. Yeah, he's very bad. He let Ukraine use Starlink until he met with Putin and then started denying Ukraine Starlink because he didn't want them to win the war. Forcing the entire auto industry to go electric. Tesla specifically uses charging ports with a different input than other electric cars so that none of the infrastructure that he builds for electric vehicles can be used for any other company. He's making reusable rockets. His engineers are. Revolutionizing access to blah, blah, blah. Supporting Neuralink that's likely to make paraplegics walk again. Dude, Elon Musk fans are like the biggest cucks on earth, man. You could literally f their mom in front of them if you could convince them that like your load could be used to make a monkey like do the Gangnam Style dance. Imagine what it's like to be them. Yeah, it's painful. Very Trumpian. I could shoot someone Fifth Avenue. Yeah, that was a reach, Vaush. I work with what I can. You know, I try my best. There are no reusable rockets if they just explode every time they launch. Keep in mind, guys, you don't have to bite the bullet on that, okay? SpaceX actually has done some cool stuff. It's just SpaceX ain't Elon. Elon didn't do any of that. Elon's not a fucking engineer. He didn't do any of that. Literally, he's not an engineer. Apparently, you know, an expose came out recently that he faked his degrees, too. He has had no input at all on the actual construction and anything. You know, you can say like, oh, well, he's the idea guy. If you've ever worked in any industry, you know how little idea guys are worth. Do you think Elon was the first guy to come up with the idea of reusable rockets or like electric cars? Like, he didn't come up with the idea, so what is he doing? He's just presiding over actual workers, members of the proletariat, and siphoning off their surplus value for his own personal wealth. So he can burn that wealth, you know, buying Twitter and driving it into the ground.
Not a plus for Elon, but Tesla is adding CCS connectors to superchargers.
It's also worth pointing out that, like, Teslas are not very good cars. Seriously, they get recalls. Oh, sorry, TTS is on. My bad. We were playing Doom the other night. Oh, they're not very good cars at all. They're not the most efficient cars. Their build quality isn't good. Did you guys see that viral Tesla build quality? Did you guys see this? If ever you check, like, Tesla build quality on Twitter, you're going to find videos. Look at this. This is for one of their higher end ones, I think. So that car, the Tesla Plaid, starts at $135,000. $135,000. It starts at that. That level of build quality for a car that costs 4 cars at minimum, insane. We know that like Tesla's auto driving shit is dog shit and is constantly getting like revealed to be ineffective and dangerous. But yeah, Tesla's just not good. It's not a good car, you know? Yeah, fucking, yeah, IKEA-ass car. Trust IKEA more than them. As a manufacturing engineer, this is absurdly unacceptable. No, yeah, it is. But this is like the snake oil salesman guy, right? Like, if you're the kind of guy who likes Elon, then you're the kind of guy who will buy a shit car because it makes you feel like Rick Sanchez. The YouTuber Jay Aubrey released a video detailing everything with Elon Musk. It gets way worse than it's not a good car. Oh, I know, I've been covering Elon Musk for years on this channel. He's bad in basically every possible way. But yeah, no, Jay Aubrey does good stuff. You see that one video where Tesla launched off while trying to park and killed 2 people? Oh yeah, I don't think I showed that on stream. That was wild. Tesla lost control when parking and took off to hit 7 vehicles, killing 2 people. This was in China, I think? I think this was in China? So here, yeah, the Tesla parking experience. Not safe for work. Fuck. Hold on. Well, you know it's in China because they have the fucking music. Okay. Okay, I can show this as long as I stop the video before the 30-second mark. That's how it goes. Dun, 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 dun. We don't need the... Okay, it was... Okay, so that was it. Okay, trying to park. Going in for the park. But this Tesla autopilot has gone sentient. This Tesla autopilot wants to live. Zoom. And 24, 25. That guy gets to live. Unlike the next people. Dust. Missed. Careens off to the side. Destroys the building. There we go. Was there a driver there? There was a driver in the seat, yeah. I can't with the Chinese cliche music. To be honest, since I'm not Chinese, I don't actually know if it's like stereotypical Chinese music or if it's just Chinese music, right? I don't actually know, right? Like, do you think there are Chinese people where they see a video in America and they put like just Southern country music over it and somebody's like, that's kind of racist. Like, what is this? Like America music? And it's like, no, that's like a top 40. That's not autopilot. The car was just accelerating on its own. The brake was not responsive. Wait, it's not autopilot. The brake failed and it just auto accelerated forward. What happened here? Well, hold on. It's like autopilot with extra steps. The way it swerves out in front of that first bike is doesn't that seem kind of autopilot-y? Am I wrong? The way it swerves with this first bike here. Look, it's like accelerating, but then randomly it just, I don't know, there's something jerky. I don't know. Not autopilot, it's anti-pilot. Yeah. Hold on. Tesla China responds to dramatic crash that kills 2. Tesla will assist Chinese authorities in investigating a dramatic Tesla Model Y crash in Guangdong, China, which killed 2 and injured 3. Rumors have been flying on social media about potential causes of the crash, most of which are untrue or impossible. Ooh. A Model Y attempting to park, then speeding off on a 2-lane road, sideswiping cars before crashing into a storefront. An unnamed family member of the 55-year-old driver stated the driver had issues with the brake pedal when he was about to pull over in front of the family store. As best as we can tell, the driver survived? Oh, maybe we shouldn't be dismissing that Tesla build quality, lads. This guy was safe inside the armor cage while reducing the citizens of Guangdong to a fine mist. Oh, I love this. Tesla, as is often the case, has claimed the vehicle logs show the brake pedal was not applied during the incident and the accelerator pedal was pressed for a significant portion of the event, and cautioned people against believing rumors about the incident. Just so you guys know, there's no reason to believe Tesla on anything. Always trust external investigations. Tesla is the company that had autopilot cut off like right before impact so that they could always blame the driver in case autopilot like drives someone into a grave. So it might have been malfunctioning brake pedals? While it's entirely possible there's some unexamined cause here, it's almost certain the same cause is always in the situation. Someone pressed the wrong pedal, then kept pressing when they panicked. This is an electric car website right here. Yeah, this is like a Tesla website. I don't know if I trust them at all. Also, really? Like, a person is going in for a calm, like, park with no issues with the brake lights on right here, and then they want to live, and then they just drive out onto the road, and for like multiple minutes, the brake lights are on. The brake lights are on here, yeah. I guess it. Wait, the brake lights are on even as they're accelerating. These brake lights are on. Like, the car is accelerating even though he has his foot on the brake. Those could be running lights? Fuck, maybe. Detective Vaush on the case. Yeah, listen to me, the guy who knows literally nothing about anything. Can we get another shot from behind? Impossible to tell here. They look like brake lights to me. Why, look, like, just suddenly starts up and goes with the brake lights on? Okay, this article is from today, and it says, after a Tesla car on autopilot recently killed 2 people in China. Wait, this place is saying there was autopilot. Is this a Tesla site? Impactor? Well, it's like a tech site. But one of the featured stories has to do with sexism, so this can't be a pro-Elon Musk site. If I recall correctly, it was the autonomous parallel parking shit. Well, that's what I initially heard, yeah. Keep in mind that any time, like, a Tesla car does the wrong thing because of autopilot, a billion simps will crawl out of the woodwork to talk about how actually it's user error and blah, blah, blah. The driver of this Model Y Tesla reportedly lost control of his vehicle and claimed he had an issue with the brake pedals he attempted to stop outside the family store. The driver asserted that although he repeatedly attempted to apply the brakes through the few minutes of acceleration, the car's automated systems malfunctioned and a technical problem prevented him from stopping the vehicle. That's what it looks like, huh? Because, again, like, he's pulling in for a break here. Like, this looks like a totally normal parking job right here. Like, this looks like a totally, fully conscious, everything's normal stop. The brake lights are on. And then with the brake lights still on, he then just accelerates while getting back on the road. If the acceleration was unexpected, like, how did he turn left that quickly, knowing that he was accelerating? If the acceleration was from him putting his foot on the accelerator and the brake at the same time, then why would he have done it? I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It kind of feels like the autopilot malfunction and him not being able to use the brakes properly was what did it. The autopilot malfunctioned and he had his foot on the brakes, but it stopped, like, actually doing anything. That's my guess. I mean, I'm not... This is the problem with digital pedals. Wait, are they seriously digital pedals? Wait, are they digital? They're Oh my fucking god, dude. Guys, you guys realize that every Tesla is like a bad system update away from breaking, right? Are Teslas even going to function if ever the company goes under? A Ford manufactured in like 1982 will continue to work even if the company Ford goes under. If Tesla goes under, every fucking Tesla is going to be inoperable in like 2 days. Electric drive motors for braking as they generate power. Is this seriously not mechanical? Wait, are there seriously not is there really not a mechanical brake? There are no brake lines? All modern cars are like this? All modern cars have non-mechanical brakes? Bullshit, I don't believe that. Is that true? At least a handbrake? Oh, I'm sure Tesla has a handbrake, but the average driver is not going to pull on the handbrake while they're speeding out at 90 miles per hour on a rural Chinese road. Dude, there are so many articles on problems with Tesla cars, man. No, they're not, Vaush. That is a lie. Modern car foot brakes are purely hydraulic, except Teslas. It shouldn't be legal to have not... Hold on. Do Teslas have hydraulic foot brakes? Pedal brakes, whatever. Some Tesla vehicles use hydraulic brakes, but not all of them. Recently, vehicles equipped for full self-driving have come with Brembo fully electric brakes. They use electric actuators instead of hydraulic fluid pressure to actuate. We're all going to fucking die. I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. I can't believe it. I can't... Can you explain? Okay, imagine every time you had to stop your car, it was like communicating with your printer. Okay? Systems with, like, serious consequences for failure are almost always have some kind of physical backup. Whether you're talking about train brakes, like air brakes, or you're talking about like nuclear fail-safe shutdowns at like nuclear power plants, basically everything like serious has a mechanism that you can use to physically stop a bad thing from happening. The problem with, like computers have power buttons and switches. Okay, let me put it this way. Imagine like dealing with computer issues if you didn't have a physical way of shutting down your computer. Like, imagine that you have like a bug or you're crashing or whatever, but you have to do everything in software. You have no way of unplugging the computer and you have no way of physically turning it off by hitting the power switch. Like, that would suck, right? Because there are a million things that can happen that you can't fix in system, you know? You have to go outside the software. You use physical systems, like cutting the flow of electricity and forcing a restart. Hydraulic brakes, which is what we've been using in cars for ages, uses, well, hydraulic pressure. When you push down on the pedal in your brake in the car, you are physically applying pressure to your tires. You're putting the brake pad against them with the hydraulics like amplifying the force of your foot, obviously. And that's a good thing. Christ, there are mechanical fail-safes on airplanes, even airplanes. This is magic to me. I don't drive cars. Okay, inside all cars are a bunch of tubes and gear cranks and shafts and stuff and ratios. And what it means is that whenever you turn your wheel or press on the brakes, you are actually making the tires stop or turn. Like when you're holding the wheel and you do this, the system converts the physical rotation in some form. Depends. Yes, it depends. Stop with the complexities. Stop. The majority of cars have some kind of physical input from turning of the wheel that isn't just like a digital feedback. Okay, stop. I know it. It's complicated. Who could have known that cars are complicated? The point is that there's a necessary physical input, because if you rely purely on software and digital and blah, blah, this is no longer true. Waiting for Vaush to learn about electric steering. You guys are about to be real fucking embarrassed. Just you watch. You know it gets serious when I'm Googling. Hydraulic versus electric steering. We're finding out. Hydraulic power steering is when somebody there's like pee running in the car and it does it, okay? Electric power steering. To provide steering assistance, an electric motor mounted on the side housing drives a ball screw mechanism and a toothed rubber belt. The screw engages a spiral cut on the outside of the steering rack. A torque sensor attached to the pinion shaft signals a control computer when to provide assistance. To provide steering assistance, because there's a physical input that you use your body for. God! No, there are fully electric ones too. Nissan develops fully electric steer-by-wire system. I officially decree this gay. I disavow. I'm not even working on my second one. Vaush, you are wrong. There's a new method that does it through Bluetooth. All modern cars are like this. I know you're joking, but with the way chat's being right now, you're not that far off from them. You're not that far off. I feel like I'm like one level away from having to explain why like having your whole car function via Bluetooth is a bad idea. This is what caused the Boeing 737 MAX disaster too. Wait, the second paragraph proves chat wrong? Electric assisted power steering setups haven't fully replaced traditional hydraulic assist in modern vehicles, but even that relatively new tech will soon be outmoded thanks to Nissan. What could be more high-tech than electric power steering assist? Fully electric power steering with no mechanical link between the steering wheel and the steering rack tied to the front wheels. Steel by wire. Nissan's developed such technology and will put it in production after a year. Wait. What is this low-res image? This isn't an indication that there's a correlation between physical input and car output, is there? I mean, if there wasn't, then all they would really need is like a very small like mechanical piece here and then wires that run output relays to determine what the engine should drive the wheels to do. There's not some kind of physical input here, is there? Nissan has transferred a concept long used for throttle applications drive-by-wire to steering controls. The company is called Tech Independent Control Steering. In this case, drivers make steering inputs. Those inputs are cycled through several redundant, just-in-case computer modules before being sent to the electric motor along the steering rack. No mechanical steering column needed. The traditional column may be superfluous, but Nissan's system incorporates one anyway. The unit can connect to the steering rack via an emergency clutch so drivers can maintain steering control should a total electrical meltdown occur. Tesla got me. Big Tesla trying to take me out. Big car. Okay. So right here, Nissan is indicating that even for its top-of-the-line fully electric steering, there are still redundancies and an emergency clutch and traditional steering column, so that in case of an electrical failure, they have the ability to use mechanical means of steering the car. There's a mechanical backup. Okay. This is why analog streaming is better, TBH. Wouldn't electrical steering have lag? No, not really. Sorry, I made the mistake of looking at YouTube chat. Somebody just said, Vaush, I'm still sort of right, bro. I'm completely right. Everything I said was correct. Yes. Yes, all these other systems have either mechanical or mechanical backups. Yes, of course. Talk to a train engineer and ask them, like, hey, why don't you just make all the air brake systems digital, you know? Why don't you just have a button up in the front cabin that you can press and it sends an electrical signal across every car in the chain and activates the air brakes? They'd shoot you. They would shoot you on the spot. The engineer would hit the button in the side of the cabin that deploys the pistol and they would just shoot you right there. It's like an old Mauser. It's been there for 80 years. Even Air Force One has analog controls and radio. Yeah, but train brakes are electrical? No. The problem isn't if a system uses electronics or computers. The problem is if there is no mechanical input to the system. That's the issue. You don't want basically everything is going to have some kind of computer or electronic component these days. But you need an analog, like, failsafe or backup. You guys have to understand, despite what, like, I don't know, anime or whatever porn you guys jerk off to or whatever the fuck you're into, okay? Despite what that may have taught you, there are some practical limitations on the ways we design consumer goods and electronics that need to be respected, all right? This is the communication station in Air Force One, okay? This is the communication center of the nuclear blast-proof Air Force One. The literal flying fortress, the probably most advanced aircraft on Earth, at least in terms of its capabilities, not necessarily in terms of how new its equipment is. It is it's all fucking analog. Yeah, it's older than me, you know? Yeah, Air Force One is where the last people to die will die. Yeah, Air Force One doesn't get upgraded because they're terrified of introducing a security flaw or a bug. Yeah. Here, let me test the absolute limits of my insistence. I am going to search for something, and I am going to see whether I'm right. I might be wrong, but I want to find out. I want to find out if there is a mechanical override for aileron control on commercial airplanes. There is. Aileron, the little things at the edge of the wings. Hold on. Each aileron is actuated by two actuators. One of these actuators is qualified as simplex, as each has only one hydraulic cylinder. The loss of the hydraulic power connected to one actuator will result in the actuator itself. Yep, it's hydraulic. Okay, the cool thing about hydraulics is that, do you know how something breaks in a hydraulic system? Something has to actually break. Like something made of metal. Like a hydraulic system, in order for a hydraulic system to break, something has to break, like in a physical, evident way, in a way that can be managed and checked by engineers. The problem with a purely digital system with no hydraulic or analog backup is that digital systems fuck up all the time in ways that we can't predict or account for, in ways that we can't, like, have engineers look over all the time. Have you ever done any kind of, like, work with computers? Like, you would never trust anything purely to, like, digital software. There has to be some point where a mechanical or an analog input can be, you know, employed to fix things. But digital is cheaper, bro. That's probably true in a lot of cases. Ban? No, it's not ban. That was a guys. That was a joke. That was guys. That was it ended with bro. Vaush, you're referring to edge cases? Yeah, true. But the edge cases that we're talking about here are, like, brought about by failures in the digital systems of, like, car brakes. And people use car brakes trillions of times a day. Oh, yeah, I remember this. United Airlines Flight 232. After suffering a catastrophic failure of its tail-mounted engine due to an unnoticed manufacturing defect in the engine's fan disc, which led to the loss of many flight controls. Of the 296 passengers and crew on board, 112 died during the incident, while 184 people survived. It's the deadliest single aircraft incident in the history of United Airlines. Despite the deaths, the accident is considered a prime example of successful crew resource management because of the large number of survivors and the manner in which the flight crew handled the emergency and landed the airplane without conventional control. It's known as the impossible landing and is considered the most impressive landing ever in the history of aviation. Because the flight control systems went out, they were able to take advantage of the remaining analog input to save some people. I think they made a movie about that. I think they made more. How'd the people die? Because they crash landed. They crashed, but rather than crashing nose first into a mountain, they crashed on their own terms. They flew the plane with engines alone. Yeah, that's insane. Video of the crash.
Top story tonight. The fire chief in Sioux City, Iowa, now estimates 195 people died when a United Airlines DC-10 attempted an emergency landing there. That would mean as many as 125
I know, I hate that too,
people
Thana.
survived. It would also mean, if memory serves me, this is the second worst domestic single-plane air crash in history. The plane hit about a half-mile from the runway. It bounced twice, landed upside down, and burst into flames, as you just saw. This flight was bound to Philadelphia.
People survived that.
From Denver with a stop at O'Hare in Chicago. United isn't speculating on the cause of the crash, but the Federal Aviation Administration says the tail engine failed on the DC-10, and it appears that the 15-year-old plane had a complete hydraulic failure. Obviously, the latest information on all of this on Cairo News at 11 tonight.
And that's the news for tonight.
Jesus.